Let's talk about the movie Talk to Me, which had its premiere at Sundance during its midnight premieres, and this was part of its midnight selection, which is more of the horror-esque and more of the fantasy movies. This one is coming to us from the duo Michael and Danny, who are behind the YouTube channel Rackaracka, responsible for all of those Ronald McDonald videos from back in the day. You know which one I'm talking about. But this movie is very different in that aspect, where it is more in the horror side of things, but you still got that little comedy sprinkled throughout that they are known for doing in those videos. And I mean, the Ron McDonald videos are not just a comedy thing, they also are very horrific if you watch them. But let's talk about this movie and my thoughts on it, and make sure you follow us, make sure you subscribe, notification bell on, check out our Indiegogo. We are still trying to fund our horror slasher film, but let's get right into this Rackaracka production, which is Talk to Me. So Talk to Me is a movie that I was not sure entirely what to think about it. So the premise basically on the Sundance page said that this movie dealt with a group of people who were conjuring up spirits with this like embalmed hand and, well, arm and hand. And what they were doing was conjuring these spirits up. They were letting the spirits come into their bodies to record the supernatural events that would happen, put them on social media, have a laugh, and all of that, right? What could go wrong with getting some evil spirits out of their comfort zone and just playing with them and toying with them? A lot can go wrong. So we'll talk about that right now. So that's all I'm going to tell you about this film. I will be doing my review now. I definitely think go into this knowing nothing at all. I think even if a trailer comes out or anything, do not watch that trailer. It is definitely best to go into this just going in without knowing anything about the film but what it's about, because that's what I did, and I had such a great time with this movie. So apparently it got picked up by A24, or it's in talks to get picked up by A24, and I think that definitely is the right approach with this type of movie, because it gave me those vibes. It gave me A24 vibes when I watched it, and I can definitely see them marketing this very well. So I will say that the acting here is great. The lead actress in here did an amazing job, especially because this movie at its core, it definitely has a lot of heart in my opinion, even for being a horror film, and I always appreciate that with horror movies. I will always say that horror for the most part works much well when its core message and its humanity shines through, and that's exactly what this movie does with its story as well, which I thought was a very well done story. And I think that they were able to really accomplish telling this story as well as giving us these horrific and very disturbing images, which I'll talk to you in a bit. But overall, the acting and the story was great, and I think that all of the actors involved, like I said, the lead actress definitely did a great job, but I think all of the other actors did an amazing job as well. Like I said, the story does work also, and I did enjoy it. I wasn't sure exactly if we were going to get like a sentimental story like we did, but we did, and I was feeling it. I was in my feelings for a bit. I think that also the sound design in here was my favorite part of it, because you're sitting in this dark theater and you're just watching what's unfolding on the screen, being distracted by that, and out of nowhere some sounds start to like go around you, and they gave you this really creepy, eerie vibe, especially in some scenes where it was just even more heightened by the horrific images that were being displayed. Because let me tell you, some of these images and some of these clips in this movie are very disturbing. I think they did such a great job when it came to makeup and all of that, and I'm not going to give too much away, but there is definitely some scenes here that really had me on the edge of my seat, and I saw some people in the crowd jumping, and especially that sound design. I'm telling you, once it was creeping around the theater, everybody was just looking back like, where is that coming from? So I did think they did a good job when it comes to that part of the movie. Direction wise, cinematography, also all of that very stunning, very visually captivating as well. Like, you're watching all of this unfold, and like I said, you're scared and all of that, but you just want to keep watching and see what's going to happen. And I think the story in itself is very original, very something you haven't seen either as well, and it really does do a good job at sort of blending like new age and old age type horror, giving you this more deeper horror, but at the same time giving you that feel of a classic, just horrific imagery on the big screen. And I don't know, it just did it very well in my opinion. For the most part, I think it is a movie worth checking out, definitely in theaters, checking out with people, a big crowd and all of that, just like I did, because that was definitely one of the most fun parts about this movie, is just everybody's reactions as things are unfolding on the big screen, and just waiting for everybody's anticipation as to what is about to come up on that screen that's just gonna get us and make us all jump and scream, which I think was such a fun time with this movie. Overall, like I said, check it out in theaters if you can once it comes out. I think it might be releasing sometime in the summer. There was great acting involved here. The story was very original, the premise and the idea of it. And I can definitely see this bringing back a lot of movies that sort of dive into this curse element, because I think that this one showed it can be done very right. I know for a while we've had a lot of curse movies a couple of years back. Those didn't work that well in my opinion, but this one definitely does. I think that there's a lot of potential for future movies from this, maybe a franchise of sorts, and I will talk more about that in my spoiler videos later down the road once we get closer to the release of this movie. But there's definitely a lot of potential here. All of the actors, like I said, did a good job, so I hope to see them in more stuff in the future. I think the directors here for a first feature and all that did an amazing job as well. I know they've worked on some other films as well, but I'm very curious to see what comes next from them. I know they did get signed with an agency just recently, so we're probably going to see a little bit more from them. Hopefully they still are in the realm of horror, because I think they have a lot of potential to really truly change horror a little bit more than it already is. Horror is always going through phases, and I think horror right now has gone off into like this big tree with a lot of different branches, and this is just another branch and extension of what we can possibly see. Overall, like I said, I enjoyed it. I just had a little bit of a minor thing with the ending. I felt it was a little bit too much of a rush, but at the same time, that's just me being nitpicky. Don't go thinking about it like that. I just would have loved to see more. Maybe that's the thing. I wanted to be more in this world and see more of it evolve, because I think it does leave a lot of questions unanswered in a good way, because that makes you want to go see it more. It doesn't leave you frustrated or anything like that. It's just like, damn, I want to see what more of that. I want to see a little bit more of an explanation on what's going on here, like that type of way. So overall, like I said, I'm excited for everybody to see this once it's released. It is a movie worth checking out on the big screen. It really does give you a fresh new take on horror, and I'm excited for these directors and see where they go from here. Let me know your thoughts and opinions once you see it in the comments below. Make sure you check out our Indiegogo, like I said, still funding our horror film, and make sure you subscribe and notification bell on the road to 30,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive. Hey, if you're still listening, really appreciate you making it all the way to the end. Like I said, we are going to continue our Sundance coverage. We will have some more reviews for you out this weekend, so make sure that you are turning that notification bell on so you know when those drop. And we will also be adding some other videos from Sundance that we caught around the festival, some of the events we were able to go to, and the press line that we attended as well. So got a lot of stuff planned for you, but all of that will be on the channel here, as well as our Twitter and also our TikTok and Instagram, which you can find all around. But as always, that'll do it for us. Stay safe, stay positive, y'all.